Global players, start saving now and you could have 1,500 stones by the start of the anniversary. How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. We're back for another Dokkan battle video. In today's video, we are taking a look at all of the campaigns leading up to the 9th anniversary on Global Dokkan. After all, JP is just about to kick off their celebration here for the LR Gogeta Blue and Super Full Power Saiyan Broly. So this is really exciting. I don't think any of us anticipated this being the anniversary units, but it's here, it's exciting, and I know all of us on Global are just dying of anticipation. So I'm here to tell you just exactly how many stones you can get in every celebration leading up to July as we prepare for these units. So let's go ahead, let's jump on into the first upcoming banner, right? So we have two paths we can take, and this is the most likely path that I'm going to go, right? We're only missing two regular Dokkan Fests as of right now from JP Dokkan, and that is the Tournament of Power Androids and the Kid, Gohan, and Piccolo. We're going to safely assume that the Tournament of Power Androids are next, since their celebration also has a Part 2 LR in the month of February. Is pretty much the only other place that can happen. So, assuming that this is the next LR, or next TUR and LR, because they do have a Part 2 LR, coming in Global Dokkan, there's actually quite a bit of stones here in their campaign, right? If we look at their campaign, they are looking at about 230 stones within their campaign. There's a whole lot going on here, believe it or not, because it is a Part 1 and a Part 2 celebration, right? They have support memory boosts, they have daily login missions, and it's February, so that's 29 stones right there. It is a leap year, plus daily mission completions, so that's like another 29 right there. Now, we're not going to do the exact count here because we save those for our monthly videos, but just know that there are roughly 230 stones with all of the things that are being added in this campaign, right? We get a new DB story, we get a new Ultimate Clash. I think this Ultimate Clash should give us, yeah, we're still missing a few copies of the Hachiyak, so it should give us the next copy we need of Hachiyak. We'll get some new ESBRs, we'll get the new EZA for Jiren for another 30 stones, and then another 50 stone World Tournament. And I believe we are caught up on World Tournaments, so this World Tournament should allow us to get the Emperor Pilaf trio. Hopefully, I could be wrong on that, but I think with the last World Tournament they caught us up, so hopefully this brings the LR Pilaf for us. So that is the month of February, right? So that'll bring the Tournament of Power Androids and the LR Ribri, and there isn't a whole lot in the Part 2 of the campaign other than this support memory boost, and then there's a few sub-EZAs within the campaign, but again, they're sub-EZAs which aren't going to get us a whole lot extra there. So that'll be the month of February. Pretty good for an off month on Dokkan, to be completely honest, and you're going to see here as we go through this campaign, as we go through these campaigns, every month is going to average about the same. Some a little higher, some a little lower, but more or less the totality of all will it be about the same, plus or minus a few stones. So that'll be the month of February, which then will bring us into March with the first half campaign, right? March should be the Dokkan Fest, Kid Gohan, and Piccolo. So this will last about 18 days as we lead into Saiyan Day, which will occur on March 18th, and I'll get into what we can expect on the Saiyan Day one here in a second, because that one's a little tricky, but looking at the March campaign here, right, we're going to get stones for completion of the Dokkan event. We're going to get some more Ultimate Clash. You know, I'm not going to include dot character missions, although it's like 12 per month, but for, you know, everybody that's different depending on how much you're actually grinding out your dot character every day, right? So that stone amount will vary. However, you know, there's still stones available there. There'll be a special weekend for 21 stones for the 3-day weekend. We'll have another explosive chain battle for 25 stones, 33 for the LR, Vegeta, and Nappa Easy A, 6 for a new Extreme Z battle. I forget exactly which stage this is, and like I said, we will do the specifics on those when those events come. So when we get into March, I will break down this campaign in its entirety. Here we're just trying to get a rough overview of if you just banked everything, right? And they do 15 stones for the support memory boost, and I think that's pretty much 11 stones for pets on battle. So despite the fact that Gohan is only like a half campaign, there's still like 200 stones here in this. It's actually kind of a lot that they squeezed into this little bit here. Pretty surprising there, which will drag us into same day. So we got 208 for Gohan's campaign. Actually, there's a little more. That's right, I forgot about this. There's also the Kid Gohan Easy A campaign, right? So you'll get 10 stones for having him already awakened when the campaign starts, and then you'll get another 15 when the campaign is complete by fully Easy A, and that's usually how it works here. So it'll be another 25 stones added to that total, so it almost rivals that of the Android celebration. So it's actually a really good celebration. Add that into the following campaign, which should be the Saiyan Day campaign. Now, we have no idea what that campaign is going to be like, but we can take some rough guesstimations based on previous years, right? So we'll have missions, right? Roughly about 15 stones worth of missions. It's more or less, it's usually somewhere between 10 and 15. I always err on the higher side for the missions. So roughly about 15 stones for missions, 2 for completion of the Dokkan event, a new ESBR. It could be an SBR or ESBR. It really depends on where we're at. But the stones themselves, while the events may change, the totality of the stones is usually pretty consistent. So whether it ends up being ESBR or SBR, there will be something that will give us 6 stones to recoup that. We will also have the Easy A. We will have at least one Easy A. This campaign gave us 2. I think 2 is unlikely. However, it depends on who it actually is as the Saiyan Day unit, which will determine what it is, right? There's a lot of... because like this was just like story event awakening characters, right? Like, I mean, Saiyan Day could be like a Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, and this could be, right, we could get an Easy A for like, I don't know, a Vegeta character. I don't know who would have the Easy A still, but we could get a Dokkan Fest Easy A here, or LR Easy A, and then, so if it say it's like a Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, right, the LR Easy A here could be like Angel Vegeta or something, and then this Easy A would be like the Super Saiyan 3 Vegetas. There's still like 3 that needs an Easy A, so it could be something like that. The stones will be recouped one way or another, so even if we don't get 1 Easy A battle versus 2, we'll still get 60 stones somehow throughout the campaign, right? And that's kind of what we'll see as we come through here. They did get a burst mode for another 20 stones, a new IDEH, and there was an explosive chain battle, but again, because this will be post-anniversary for JP, there's not going to be any chain battle. Chain battle is done with as of the Hirudegarn and Goku celebration, so we will probably get the 25 stones for, or it's like 24 stones for Dragon Ball History, but there'll be nothing for chain battle, since there'll be no more chain battle. We don't know their plan for recouping chain battle stones, because that's usually a pretty hefty amount per celebration. But when we take the totality of the Saiyan Day, right, that ended up being about 105 celebrations. So for the month celebration stones, so for the month of March, right, if we add that in 105 and our 208 here, that's going to give us, where's my calculator here? All right, so that's going to give us about 313 stones for the... Oh wait, my math is off there. No, yeah, 313 stones for the month of March, right? Because we have this big Saiyan Day celebration, that's going to boost the total number of stones for the month pretty high. So we combine that 313 with the month of February, right? And we're looking at 543 stones already. Like, that's a pretty good deal. Like, if you just banked everything, right? Didn't summon on Sunday, didn't summon on February, that's 500 stones already. Now, if you remember back in our January video, we talked about how January has about 500 to 600 stones to cover the New Year's step up. If we include that 500 in our account, technically, right, if you've been saving and you didn't summon on Omega and you didn't summon on Trunks, you probably by the end of March are looking at about 1,000 stones, right? So that's really, really good. You're going to be solid when it comes to saving for that anniversary, right? And it also gives you some leeway to put stones in places you may want, like Golden Week celebrations, or maybe some unit that might release later on that you want to take part in their celebration. Now, let's moving on, we're going to find ourselves in the next campaign to follow that on JP Dokkan, which was the Dual Dokkan Fest, Hirudegarn and Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Now, since we are following the old format where we didn't share New Year's, this is guaranteed to be April. April was always the New Year's time slot on Global Dokkan, so we can pretty safely assume that this campaign will take place in this. And this campaign's total, I think, is about 256 stones, if I remember my math correctly, right? We're getting 33 for an easy A. We're getting the type support easy A's, which after doing all of the missions and all of the stages ends up being about another 30 stones, right, for the easy A battle here. For the new red zone, we get a new red zone here, and I do believe, if I can find it here, right here, it is 5 stones plus the various missions for this Movie Heroes Red Zone, and we are looking at about 31 stones here in total for this for this new Red Zone. We'll have ESBR and SBR for another 12 stones. There will be this explosive chain battle. This will be the last explosive chain battle forever until they revamp it or do something different with it, and that'll be another 25 stones there. Obviously, we will have login and daily missions for, I think, this will be April. April is 30 days, so that'll be 30 stones there plus another 30 for the daily missions. So pretty good there. That's 60 stones just for logging in and doing what you need to do. There is no easy A battle in part 1, right? This is a sub easy A. We will have the new story event, which I believe this story event gets us to 6, so 12 stones plus 13, 14, 15, 16 stones right there for the new story event. So pretty good deal there. And then 2 for the Dokkan, 4 for the Dokkan Fest events, right? And then I think Clash for another 25 stones. And that's it for the campaign, right? So when you total all of that up, you are looking at about 256 stones for all of this combined. So pretty good for the month of April, right? It's about what it is on a monthly celebration. Now, I believe there is one extra thing, like there's a campaign that goes along with this, and I think it nets you like 7 stones or something, so that could bump us up to the 260. So that'll be pretty good. So we add that 260 into our previous total. Right, so 260 plus 230 plus 208 plus 105. All right, that's 803 stones right there, added to our 500 if you saved for January. And, right, you're looking at about 1,300 stones there as a global player if you've been saving since the beginning of January. Now, things are going to get a little dicey from here. We're going to make our best guesstimation based on previous years, but like I said, total amount of stones is going to be roughly the same. There may be plus or minus due to various things like promotional campaigns, social media campaigns, or just extra missions they decide to chuck in there for whatever reason that could either add or take away from the stones, total stones for the month, and depending on where they decide to move them to. However, I mean, we're going to get a pretty good idea. So looking at the next campaign, Aim for the Top Dokkan campaign, this was the Golden Week campaign last year, and we could roughly assume we're going to see the same amount here this year. So last year, this campaign got us almost 320 stones when you combined the part 1 and part 2, right? Because the login had 2 dragon stones per day, you had daily missions for another 30, you had your average missions for 15, the Dokkan Fest stones for 4. There were a new boss rush, new super battle roads. There were a new a special ultimate clash. We had a new EZA battle, loaded super weekend. We did have a chain battle, so I mean, we won't get that 25 stones, but I'm sure we'll recoup the 25 stones in some other way. Now, add that to their part 2. The part 2 LR had its own campaign, which granted more missions, new Super Strike event awakenings, new free-to-play EZAs, and actually this one gave us 2 Super Strike awakenings, because I think we were behind on this one, and then caught us up with this one. So we'll probably get another Super Strike. I think there's still a few more that we need, like the Xenotrunks got his. There's still a couple that need theirs, so we'll be slowly finishing these up. And then we got Fighting Legend Goku. We can assume they might throw some missions there, but like I said, whatever these stones end up being, I think it was like 30 in total, because there were 15 here, and then there were 20 for the burst mode, right, for the Fighting Legend Goku. So we had 15 from the GT Goku and then 20 from the burst mode. This is about 25 stones there. We had a new DB story. This could be anywhere from 16 to 24 stones depending on the stage of the new DB story. We had 15 stones for the support memory, another 6 for an extreme super battle road, and that was pretty much it for new stones. So for the month of May, like I said, that totaled in 320 stones. Adding that to our previous total, right? So we had 320 plus 256 plus 208 plus 105 plus 230, right? So that's 1,119 stones for the month of February, where we are coming up now all the way up to the end of May. So that's 1,000 stones right there. If you saved for January, you're talking about having 1,600 stones up at that point. So that's pretty darn good. Like, we're looking at a hefty celebration amount of stones for you free-to-play players entering the anniversary. Now, this brings us to the last, where is it? Here. This brings us to the last campaign before the anniversary. Now, on JP, last year it's always the first Dokkan Fest after the anniversary on JP. That is our June Dokkan Fest. So last year this was the Super 17, and this is a pretty low amount of stones. Like the total for the whole month of June was 130 stones. It's pretty low, but again, because by the end of June, we are moving into the anniversary. So we add that 130 into our total, and we've got what is that? 1,250 stones, roughly. So that's pretty good. Like I said, this number could be plus or minus. And again, that's 1,200, not including the 500 you would have gotten if you saved for January. If you did save for January, you've got 1,750 stones, which is pretty darn good, right? You're going to be walking out of that anniversary with at least something, right? Even if you just invest all in one banner, you're probably walking out with maybe the Gogeta, maybe the Broly, but it is going to be very beneficial for us as global players to use these stones wisely, right? You've got 1,700 stones to work with, and you want to make sure you're not spending them all in the wrong places. So hopefully you guys found this guide helpful. I know it's a bit long-winded, but I really wanted to make sure we get this out before we move into the next step of our anniversary prep over here on Global. I'll be putting out videos periodically as we move through the months, stone checking, right, seeing where we're at as we enter each new month, as well as putting out budgeting guides. Where should you spend these stones? Value may change as certain things are added to the game, but more or less we'll show you in a future video like where the best value use of these stones is in the lead up to the anniversary. So guys, that is it for the video. If you liked the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And in the comments down below, let me know, what is your current stone total? Did you save for the month of January? What are you projected to have by the start of the countdown campaign at the end of June if you totaled all of the stones up here in this video, right? We're talking about 1750 if you saved up January, if not about 1250. Let me know what you would have in the comments down below. Otherwise, guys, as always, thanks for watching, and aloha.